Coach Ryder, Chase, congrats on the win. We'll start with opening thoughts on the game from each of you and then take questions.
Ryder, kick us off.
Came out, okay. Sort of flatlined there for a little bit, but, finished strong. Found a way to come out with a win. I don't think that was the prettiest performance. I think that we got to be better next week if we expect to get a good result, but we'll take it. Survive in advance this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ryder. Like, I think just coming out of halftime, we kind of talked amongst ourselves and found that, refused to lose attitude that we've had the last couple weeks. And, yeah, it's just we're fighting for more time together and just super excited when we put some offense with some defense and vice versa. It was cool to see that happen.
I mean, it's playoffs, right? So you're going to see a little bit of everything. You're going to see some great plays, some sloppy plays. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of guys competing and playing hard. I'm really proud of our guys for closing that out. I think we had a great second half, and hats off to the Chaos group. They had an unbelievable season for what they've been able to do with the group they had, and I think those guys should be really proud. And they battled hard. I mean, literally down to the final whistle, and it's pretty much what you're going to get from here out. So,
Questions?
What was said at halftime, Coach? That was a different team there.
Yeah, I think we were a little flat. We talked about winning our matchups, and I basically was like, we're down to 30 minutes, or we got a second half for 24 minutes, or nothing is guaranteed after that, and we got to find a way to put our best foot forward, and we got to be a different team than we were in the first half. We made a couple adjustments on offense, and we talked about a few things on defense, and I think TD, I think he was like 50 or so on the day. I don't remember offhand, but I think he got us some really important face-off wins in the second half. So, you talk about matchup wins, and if it's a 50-50 in that position, he got some really, really important ones, including a goal in a clutch moment. So, when you look at that, I look at that like that's a win your matchup moment. So, again, just little pieces. I think we got a young team. We're a young group, and coming into playoffs, there's a lot of pressure, and I think going into halftime, we kind of hit the reset and came out and did what we were able to do.
Other questions?
Yeah, Ryan from Minnesota Lacrosse Magazine. I just wanted to know what you guys' thoughts were on the atmosphere here tonight in Minnesota, and if you had any messages for the fans.
Sure, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you to the fans. Come out of the locker room for pregame warm up, and Chris Cav looks at me. He's like, this is effing sick, and that's a kid who's played in Final Fours, won a couple national championships. So for the atmosphere to be like that when we stepped on the field was set the tone for the night. I thought they were great all night.
Yeah, no, I echo that same sentiment. I know last year we came here as well, and same thing. Like knowledgeable fans going crazy. Definitely, they know the game, right? They're going with every big save or every big goal. They're going crazy. It was cool. It was really cool to see, and just interacting with them, everyone was so nice. So, hopefully they can maybe travel to the semis, but it was great.
Just the guys wearing green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting in the Vikings facility. It's incredible. I think for starters, this facility is awesome. Fans were unbelievable. I'm a Midwest guy. You might not know that. I'm from Ohio. So, like, for me to see the fans showing up and being here for not only the first game but the second game, it was awesome, man. They were cheering for both groups. I think it was man, it's just exciting. Like I said, Midwest guys seeing Midwest people showing up and being here and supporting the game. It's great.
Other questions?
Yeah, the two goals I called back. Say anything to the players before you guys went back out there? The one that was a play before.
Sure.
That was a tight game at that time.
It was, yeah. It's funny because I think you get in those moments and all the guys are sitting there staring at the scoreboard and they want to see the replay. In my head, I always kind of prepare for the worst. So I call the guys in and it's like, hey, that's coming off the board. Here's what we're going to do. So, it was one of those things. We're not going to get hung up on whether it's coming off or it's staying. If it stays, great, right? We know where we are. But if it doesn't, we're going to be prepared and ready to go for the next setup. And, I think mentally that just if it doesn't stand, hey, we're ready to go. We're just going to keep moving and keep doing what we do. So, obviously the last one was kind of funny because I actually had a conversation with Mac today about, being in that situation. He's like, Coach, like, what do you think? Like, is it okay to shoot the ball? And I was like, well, it depends. We kind of went through these different scenarios, and I wasn't mad at him for shooting, but I wish he would have just taken an extra step upfield and just put it home. But he was outstanding today, and there's a reason why that guy gets the ball in his stick at the end of the game. And I wasn't one bit mad, and we had 2 to give, and we were able to close it out there at the end. So.
Questions on Zoom? Dre?
Hey, Ryder, this one is for you, Coach. Feel free to chime in on this one as well. So, Mac and Chris Cav played great, had a phenomenal game. How impressed by them as rookies have you guys been?
I mean, to be honest with you, that's what I expected, from day one. That's what they're capable of. I've been watching them very closely. We at Notre Dame, we play Duke a couple times every year, and I got to see Chris, every day for the last 4 years. So to say that I'm impressed would be, a lie. That's how good they are, right? They're, some of the best players in this league, and they're going to be for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, both those guys are incredible. We're lucky they wear green and gold, and two of the most competitive guys I've ever seen, and they lead by example. They show up every week. I think Chris Cav is layup for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's shown it every single day. I mean, no brainer in my opinion. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I mean, there's a lot of great players in this league, a lot of great rookies. I think this class exceeded expectations, and I think those two guys are, two of the guys that have really marked, this class as a great class. Mac, 4 goals today. Really, I mean, if he would have taken a smarter approach, probably should have 5 with, not jumping in the crease there at the end. But again, he's a guy that he gets a pole. I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of rookie middies getting a pole, from after game 1, week in and week out, and he continues to win his matchup. And, you look at those two guys and the points they're putting up, it's pretty impressive.
Kyle?
Yeah, for Chase and Ryder. Chase, Coach talked about the pressures of the playoffs. Well, tonight, I guess pressure made diamonds for you. A career high 18 saves, 60% on your save percentage. Does it, throughout the flow of the game, does it ever kind of like click for you that, you're kind of seeing the ball as well as you were? And if so, do you remember when that moment potentially was? And Ryder, when you see Chase is so locked in like that, does it give you guys on offense a bit of a calming presence knowing that, you guys were coming back from being down 10-5 and having to, scrap back for the lead and take that lead, knowing that Chase is dialed in? How much of a calming presence on offense does that give you guys?
I think I just started in warm-ups. Honestly, it just started this whole weekend. Like, it stinks having those buys, right? You don't get to see your boys. You don't get to see your teammates. But just getting back together with everybody. It's great energy. It was a great time at practice, and just you don't want that to end. So I think just the overall, like I said, that good energy, the positive vibes going into this weekend, having a great opportunity, fighting for more time together, I just felt good and felt happy to be out there just playing the game, that I love. So, as long as we keep that energy as a group and just enjoy to fight for more time, I think that's what's going to propel us. And yeah, it was a good night, but we're going to be ready for the next round, right? We can't just settle for one game, and I'm excited for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, somebody's playing great, but especially the goalie, such a big position, it just breathes, confidence into the rest of the team. We were sort of flat there in the first quarter, and, I don't know how many saves he had, but it seemed like he had, 15. And then every time we needed one, he made a big save, right? Like that save on Hiltz was in the third quarter, one of the best saves I've ever seen. We're trying to make a run there. They score a goal. They kill our momentum. I think that, after that save, I think it was maybe Romar's too. So, when you got a goalie making saves like that, the rest of the team's going to be feeling good. And that, like I said, one of the best
18.
saves I've ever seen. Yeah.
18 saves.
That's a big number.
It's a big number.
Phil?
Yeah, to continue with McAdory, Ryder had mentioned some lulls and being flat, and Coach, you had said there's a reason McAdory gets the ball at the end of the game in those situations, but it also seems like when those lulls happen, I mean, it was 9 minutes between the second quarter goal and his goal in the third quarter. It seems like time and again this year, he's been the guy that's broken the team out of those slumps. What is it about his game that is so important in those moments that he's able to get the ball in those moments and deliver and break the team out of those slumps?
I think that's just who he is. I don't think there was, like you said, it was a long lull there. It wasn't like anything was designed to go to him. He's just a guy that he's a competitor. I mean, that was one of the first things I said. And he's a guy that, give me the ball. I'm gonna get it done. And he. That's what he does, right? He does his job and he does it great, and he takes a lot of pride in being the guy to be able to do that. And I think that's incredible for a rookie to be the guy to step up. Like you said, week in and week out. And I've been preaching that to the guys. It's like, it's no one's a rookie anymore. Everybody that you get halfway through the season, it's like you don't have that anymore when you're a pro. You got to grow up real quick. And he's a guy that came in on day one and treated it, if you were an outsider looking at it and you didn't know who was who, you'd think he was a veteran player. And I think part of that is he's extremely smart. He's a well-coached guy, and the way that he breaks the game down and analyzes things, he's always thinking of ways and bringing ideas to us as a staff during the game, throughout the game, at halftime. I love to get in his brain and walk with him as we're going in the locker room and talk and just see the things that he's seeing on the field. And, we take a lot of that and apply it into what we're doing.
Clutch player. I mean, when we need to play, he seems to make it time and time again.
Dre?
Yeah, Coach, this is for you. So you guys were down 10-5, and teams that would not be strongly built would have easily folded and collapsed. What was sort of like the rallying point that got the team to find the spark that ended up resulting in your eventual win?
I don't know. Maybe these guys have an answer. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's we believe strongly in who we are, and I think this group's really matured. As a team throughout the season, and as we've gotten further along, we've just believed that we're going to win every time we hit the field. And, even when we're down, this game can turn really quick. I think you guys have all been around it long enough to realize that. And, we just keep chipping away. And it's like my whole approach was like, somebody just make one play. We just got to make one play, bring it back, stack it up, and make another one. You guys tell me. I don't know where the turn was.
Yeah, I don't know if there was, anybody said anything in the huddle or anything like that. But, when you just stay the course and like Coach said, keep chipping away, we got strong belief in ourselves that eventually we're going to make enough plays and come out on top if we, like I said, stay the course, trust our, systems on both ends. And I think that we did that now. Massive save like Chase made, and then we hit it too. That that's a pretty big momentum play. So
I will say like one thing. We talk about making plays, and I think there was a point there where Ricey picked off a pass that was coming from X, and in like a clutch moment, and in the third there, and it kind of got us started on that comeback and just rallying up and getting going, and those are plays that get overlooked sometimes, but for us, it really sparked up the sideline. I remember seeing the guys and hearing the guys, and it was like, yeah, like we need more of those. Like let's bring another one of those back, and so shout out to him for really rallying that up and getting us going.
Kyle?
Yeah, for Coach and Chase. Coach, first of all, congrats on your first career playoff win. Chris Fake was on the injury report coming into this game. When you guys find out that he's able to go, how much of a boost is that for this defense? Where Chris Fake's not necessarily a guy who is going to, flash in the stat sheet, but he just puts his head down, goes to work, and is such a calming presence on that defense for you guys. When you know that he's able to go, how much, of a boost is that knowing that you have his presence there in front of Chase defensively? And Chase, when you find out, that Chris is active and ready to go, how excited are you to know that you're going to have him in front of you tonight?
Chris Fake is one of the best defensemen in this league. You know, I don't even say I think Chris Fake is one of the best defensemen in this league, and you know, I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. He's a guy for us that is pretty much picking up one of the toughest matchups week in and week out. Does an amazing job. The guys on our team know that and believe in him, and knowing that we have him back there, I think it gave a sense of confidence to our guys. You know, and I think even at you know, the way they looked at it today is just having a Fake at 95% is still better than anything else we can put out there. And you know, he did an unbelievable job. He had a couple times coming over the midfield. You don't see that very often. So I think he was feeling pretty good flying around. And you know, I'm just proud of him being out there, and it was great for our group to have him.
Yeah, and from my perspective and the other defenders, just, you know, Warrior teammate, didn't complain at all, right? Definitely banged up, but I think you know, everyone is at some level down the stretch, and he didn't say a word. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna go out and do my job, and like I said, didn't complain. So I think you know, a guy that's always had my back, had our team's back, you know, we could elevate our play as well for him. And again, you know, someone who's gonna, whether it's a small, fast guy, a bigger, you know, stronger guy, he'll take that matchup, and again, doesn't say a word about it. He just goes and does his job. So I'm glad he's in green and gold, and so yeah.
Last question, Phil.
Yeah, early in the fourth quarter, Chaos are on offense, moving the ball around, get it to X, and then Josh Zawada is wide open a few yards in front of the crease, but Rylan Reese comes down and gets a huge caused turnover before he can get a good shot off. He was a late add to this team towards the end of the season. What did he bring to the table tonight, and what has he brought to the table in the locker room and just to this team in general?
I think a couple things. I think he's number one. He's a great you know, great young man, and you know, he's a veteran guy. You know, he's a guy that you know, he's got a lot of experience in playing this game, and you know, he's a winner. You know, he's been in big game moments and knows what it takes, and I think he brings a little bit of a calming presence to the defense. You know, he's a guy that never gets rattled, and he brings us some versatility. You know, we have a lot of guys on our team that bring us versatility, and you know, we're really fortunate that we were able to pick him up, you know, and finding an injury and an opportunity to put him in, and it was one of those things that we didn't hesitate to get him in the lineup, and you know, it's been great, and since he's been in, we've you know, been fortunate to be on the winning end of things, and you know, it's great to be able to make a midseason change like that, and plug him in for a really great player that is injured, and you know, just really happy again. Just happy he's one of us.
Yeah, I mean, great teammate. You know, champion in this league before. When you got a guy like that who's won a lot of lacrosse games, won a lot of big lacrosse games, and you know, he jumps in the locker room and he's fully bought in from the get-go. Breathes confidence into the rest of the group. I think he's done a great job doing whatever's asked of him, and been a great teammate. So we're, you know, really lucky to have him.
Yeah, these guys said.
What they said.
Yeah.
Sorry, one more from Dan.
Yeah, just real quick, little change of pace here, but we're about 10 minutes away from the gold medal game between USA and Canada at the U20 Men's World Championships. We got Ohio State guys out there. We got Notre Dame guys out there. We got Hopkins guys out there. A little watch party happening tonight, or is it straight to recovery for you guys?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I know all that's going on. I was so laser focused on today that I had no idea that game was happening until you said it. But like you said, I mean, a lot of great lacrosse right now going on in the world, and you know, it'd be great to see. I think Garnsey's probably got a little more skin in the game with the Notre Dame guys than I do. But yeah, I mean, obviously, always pulling for the USA guys to go out there and battle. I'm sure it's gonna be a great game. I've seen a lot of the highlights and the stats from that stuff, so I'm sure it's shaping up to be a banger.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we'll probably, you know, get it on someone's phone or wherever we're at. Like you said, there's some, you know, some guys from, you know, all the programs that we're associated with. I talked to Sean and Kyle this morning, just said good luck, and then, you know, sent that away and then forgot about it. So thanks for the reminder. We'll get it on in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just happy we got our job done here tonight. So we'll enjoy the time with the teammates, that's for sure.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the win. We'll see you in Philadelphia.
Thank you.